Are you an MSP struggling to bring on your first client and you're like, hey, I'm ready to move forward? They sign the contract, but you don't know what the first thing you should do is, then this is a great video for you. And even if you're an established MSP, you've probably forgotten some of the basics. If you don't have a checklist that you're working with or a worksheet that says, hey, this is what we're doing throughout the entire process, then this is going to be a great refresher for you. And I highly recommend taking notes throughout this video so that way you can take and make a new spreadsheet for yourself to truly be successful. How are you doing? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing training, or even some business operations. And guess what today is? Today is business operations, and it's talking about doing a well done onboarding process because truly, if you master this process, the money that will be yielded from your customer is truly incredible. This is probably the most important thing that you can do with a new client. And also, it sets the tone going forward with that client for the rest of the time you are with them. So keep that in mind. And also, studies have shown that a great onboarding process will help keep your existing clients longer because they feel like they've had a great experience right from the get-go. But before we get into today's video, I do want to mention just one really quick thing. We have a website called growth-generators.com. I've put a lot of work into that website, from writing about what we do, how we do it, the programs that we offer, and truly, I just want you to go check out our website. Leave me feedback. If you want to reach out to me, I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, stay in the video, check out the website. Everything looks great. Honestly, I'm just trying to make it better, and you as the viewer can help me in more ways than I could ever be thankful for. So if you do that, thank you so much. And if you don't, I hope you just still enjoy this video as well. So let's talk about the onboarding process. Even before we get to the onboarding process, we have to do a pre-onboarding because there's things that we have to do internally. It doesn't matter what size MSP you have. It doesn't matter if you have 25 employees, 100 employees. It doesn't matter if you're a solo shop. It is important to do a pre-onboarding prep. That's what you have to do. Remember, we want our customers, or now customers, to have a truly incredible experience throughout their entire time working. But I'm sure you've probably heard the term first impressions are really important. You might not get a second impression. Now you've done the hard work, you've gotten the lead, you've closed the sale. It's onboarding time. You have to knock this out of the park. After that, you provide great service. They will stick with you for, on average, 7 to 20 years. Phew, that is a crazy amount of time. So we have to knock this out of the park. So first thing that we want to do is gather initial client information, right? And whatever we can grab right from hopefully our discovery day when we went on site, we spoke to the client, we saw everything. And if you guys are probably sick of hearing about this, but truly, there's a video coming on me setting this thing up. This is the Plaud device, Plaud. I am an affiliate on Amazon. If you buy it right through them, I don't care. But this thing is, it is silly how well this thing works, and it'll record the entire conversation. So if you're going through record and you have it maybe in your breast pocket or on the back of your phone while you're doing your discovery day, you want to make sure that you point out the important things, the network, the what they kind of have as far as inventory, right? What do they have? Extra computers? You could even do network inventory. What's going on in the network closet? Because sometimes I've seen unboxed computers, box computers, networking equipment off to the side, old. The list can go on and on. What systems are they using? What applications? We want to just get as much initial information as possible because more often than not, we may have missed something, and that's okay. But at least we could prepare ourselves with what we have seen. Now, something really important is understanding the client's business goals and pain points. You probably learned this through the sales process. In fact, I hope you learned this through the sales process. But it's really important that not only you go through that, but we have to make sure that we can come up with a solution that hopefully we can roll out during the onboarding process that resolves the pain points most importantly. And second most importantly is we help them reach their business goals. We also have to make sure that we're setting clear expectations and clearly defining our service levels throughout this process. Remember, that customer just signed their John Hancock on a piece of paper. Now what? We have to make sure that they have an incredible experience, but they also remember what they're actually getting throughout this process and making sure that the important things, the documents, are well done, right? Setting up the contacts, setting up the agreements in your system, but also sending any documents and agreements that you need to send to your customer based on how you run your business, and document. It is super important. Now, for me, I truly love this next one, and it is a kickoff meeting. Having a kickoff meeting is super important because you're not going to go in there like SEAL Team 6 with a backpack full of RJ45 cables and an air blower and it's not going to happen. I know. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It's important to schedule a face to face meeting or virtual, whatever's easier for you, meeting the other people at the table, not just the person that signed the check. And who knows, there might be what's called a SPOC, a single point of contact, or you might have multiple Spock eyes. We'll go with Spock eye, right? I'm kidding, but there might be a couple people that are the more important people or that can make decisions with your MSP for their business. It's important. It's also important to make sure that you review the scope of work internally, but also externally with the customer. Hey, we just want to let you know that this is what's going to be happening during our onboarding. And we're going to cover some of that in this video, but it's important. They want to know. They probably just sent you a check with worth hopefully a lot of money. We have to, yes, we did go through the sales process, but we have to make sure that they feel great throughout that. And we have to remind them what they're actually getting and what we're going to be doing during this onboarding, right? And obviously introduce your team if there's key players in the team, supervisors, managers that are going to be involved, or if it's just you, hey, you know what? It's just more time in front of the customer. And also, please do not forget this. We have to attach some kind of timeline to this because if there is no timeline, things might not get done. Hey, this is what happens in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, however long your onboarding process is. It's important to make sure the customer knows that, but it's also important for you to know that and you write that down somewhere. So keep that in mind. Now, as you go through this onboarding, we are going to be doing an initial assessment, kind of like a discovery, right? We want to make sure we get a full audit of everything. We have the pre-audit, what we've seen so far, but when you actually get into the environment, we need to see everything: the network, the endpoints, any applications, what levels of security they have, and we need to identify any risks. Remember, we don't want to open up ourselves to risk, and we also don't want our clients to be at risk. So keep that at the top of your mind. Also, vulnerabilities. What's going on? Any issues that the client has already said? Now it's really important to document it, see what's going on so you can bring it back and make a plan. But document. I promise you, the more documentation, the more you're going to save your rear end because it is wildly important to once again document, right? And make sure all data is backed up. Truthfully, I've seen it, and I hate the fact that I even have to say it, but I've gone into businesses and they don't know where the data is backed up. They don't even know if the data is getting backed up. Make sure you set up backups if that's what's coming in your package as soon as possible, because luck would have it, at least in my world, that I would do an onboarding, I wouldn't set that up, and they would go down that night. That's the worst thing in the world. Backup is a super high priority for you and for every MSP out there if it is coming in the package that you actually offer. But once again, I'm going to say it just so you don't forget this: document. I'm a big fan of over documenting. I would rather word vomit into this little device, the plot again, have it type it all out, copy and paste it in there so I don't forget it, than run the risk of not remembering or putting in too little information. Now, as you go through this, your onboarding, you're going to have an implementation phase, whatever you decide to call it. Now, this is really important because this is kind of where things are going to get a little hairy for the customer, but also you're going to start doing a bunch of different things. We're going to be migrating any of the client services that they may already have, preferably over to you as an MSP. You're going to be setting up your tools, your RMM PSA tool, any documentation platforms. I'm sorry for saying that, but I'll take a dollar every time I say that word. I'm just kidding. Security software, backups, anything else out there that we need to set up. Whatever it is that you think is best for your client is what you need to be setting up during that implementation phase. We're going to be removing, we're going to be putting in software. There's going to be just a little bit of shakeup. Little pro tip, if you could do this on downtime for them and cram it into either a weekend or off hours, they will love you because the last thing that they want to do is deal with it during the day when things are going down and all that good stuff, right? They want to have as seamless of a transition as possible. It's your job to deliver that. And we want to configure any access control across the board. What do we need to move? What do we need to migrate? What permissions do we need to set? All of that good stuff should be set up in the implementation phase. You might even want to set up the implementation phase on day one when you get boots on the ground in there. And then verify that the client's critical applications and services are working correctly. I hate that I have to say that, but if you don't verify it and with them so that they could follow the process that they're used to and it doesn't work, you are going to have a very angry customer at the other end of the phone when they get into the office the next day or anything like that, screaming at you because they can't get the work done and you told them you overpromised, underdelivered, and now they're upset because they can't use what you told them. You are going to make their life easier. Verify that. Other smaller applications, never a headache. But if it's critical infrastructure for them, the things that make them money, they're going to be pretty unhappy when it comes to those things. Now, I'm going to say it again. Internal processes and documentation is really, really important. Update any internal documents. You're going to be documenting this entire process from right when they close, or probably even before you close the sale, all the way through till they become a full-fledged client. But it's important to have documents for you. And then also, I personally am a huge fan of letting the customer see kind of what you're documenting. More often than not, their last MSP probably sucked. If you can give them some kind of documentation, what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, you don't have to give up all your passwords. I'm not saying that. But clients love transparency. And if you could keep an open line of communication, creating tickets, letting them know what's going on, you are going to be in their good graces for the rest of their lives. I promise you that. You also want to come up, if it's a new kind of industry that you're getting into, create standard operating procedures. How are you going to handle tickets? Is it going to be different? Do you need to escalate certain things? Do they have a different plan that you've never offered before? Maybe a higher tier plan? And what does maintenance look like for this customer? Most customers are going to fall into a large basket of, hey, this is what maintenance looks like. But every once in a while, there's going to be specific things that you might need to adjust and tweak specifically for a customer. Once again, you're going to save your butt if you document it. And then just set up centralized locations for passwords, sensitive information, Hoodoo, IT glue, all that good stuff as well, all in one place so your entire team has access to it when they actually need access to it. And then just ensuring continuity with standard practices. Truthfully, make sure they work. Make sure there's no bullet holes in them, and truly just try to dial in a good process for that customer, especially if it's your first one. You're going to hit some bumps across the process. Don't worry about that. Now, one of my most favorite things is we have to train the clients. We have to transfer the knowledge from our brains to our clients. If we can't do that and we can't teach them how to put in tickets, basic training, you might even want to offer training to them. Basic processes, self-service capabilities, how to put in a ticket, how to email in a ticket, how to use our system. You're going to have a lot of headaches. You can put most of this into a YouTube video and blast it out to all of them, right? That's truly probably one of the easiest things to do, but spend the time. This is one of your very few times that you're going to spend a lot of time with your client. Leverage every single minute of it. Be in their face, not in a bad way, but hey, I want to train you guys. I know it's boring. I know it's not exciting. I'm the tech guy, but trust me, It's going to save you guys a ton of headaches down the road. And by doing it the right way, we'll actually be able to service you faster. On top of spending a good amount of time there, there's plenty of sales opportunities that arise. You might upsell, you might ask for referrals, you might ask for introductions. All of that good stuff can happen throughout this process as well. So don't let a good onboarding go to waste. Now, also explain critical things, how an escalation works. What is the process for an escalation? What we would declare as an escalation? What's really important versus level one, level two, and level three help desks? These are all super important. And also, you probably guessed I'm going to say this. You're going to want to document it and make something easy that they can grab at a moment's notice. Hey, does anybody know how to put a ticket in for the new IT company? That's not what you want them to say. You want them to throw the book across the room and say, "Hey, put in a ticket." It's that simple. I know it sounds crazy, but once again, having a fantastic onboarding process is probably the most slept on thing ever, and it's only going to make you a better MSP across the board. And then offer open channels for feedback. Truthfully, be open, especially if you're a new business. Get good feedback. Phones, texts, whatever you're comfortable with, emails, it's all good stuff. But your client wants to have a fantastic experience. They're going to give you feedback. It's whether or not you act on that feedback to make an even better onboarding process. And I hope at this point you've hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. And if not, I'll give you a second to do that. And by the way, if you're interested in getting the best onboarding document out there where you can, it's jam packed. You can go remove things and refine it down to fit your needs. It is available in the MSP Heroes membership only. But if you want that, along with meeting with me every single day, Monday through Friday, you are welcome to go check out the membership. There's tons of super helpful resources in there for you. Now, we are at the end, the post onboarding follow up. The gold nuggets are always at the end. You need to make sure that you meet with them after onboarding is complete. There should be a clear time when they're in onboarding phase and things are a little murky to, hey, we're having a meeting, your onboarding's complete. This is what the future now looks like with us. We've done everything that we needed to do. We've onboarded you guys successfully. Everything's good. Here's what the future looks like. Perfect. But it's also important to get feedback. If we're not consistently trying to get better, we are not doing the best for our customers and we're not doing the best thing for our business. We need to make sure that we get feedback throughout that process. And if they say, "Hey, honestly, everything was great," perfect. But that doesn't mean every time we onboard a new customer, it's going to be perfect every single time. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I apologize for that. And then you want to go through and just keep a super close eye on them for 30 to 90 days, maybe even 120 days. It is a very sensitive time for them. That new customer of yours just came on board. They're probably pretty excited. They're also probably pretty nervous. Remember, you just gave them the keys to the castle, right? Or they just gave you the keys to the castle. This is how they pay their kids' college tuition, pay for their cars, pay for their mortgage, pay for the dozens, hundreds, however big the company is, their mortgages, their car payments, their finances, right? This is really important. It's a really big deal when a company hires an MSP and they change over all of that. That 30, 60, 90, even up to 120 days is super important to be like white on rice during that time. You have to make sure you are watching the closest possible to make sure you can avoid issues or get them resolved as early as possible. If you do a flawless onboarding and that first 30, 60, 90 days is incredible for that customer, you're going to have them for the better part of that 20 years I mentioned in the first part. That 7 to 20 is insane to have a customer for that long. And if you have a great experience and they're like, everything's been great. Honestly, things are working. All of our problems have been solved. You guys have been great. They are going to love you. And once again, because I'm a sales guy, we can then ask for some solid referrals, which could lead us to even more customers. I hope you guys found some value in this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, head over to the website growth-generators.com. There's tons of information down there for you, as well as tons of links down below this video. Or if you're listening to the podcast, I would really appreciate a 5-star review. I'm working very hard for them. I love you as always. Get to your destination safely. I hope this video made you a better MSP, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.